All right, time for our poll question. I thought this would be a fun one today. Oh, okay, here we go. If forced to choose, which would you want for Tennessee's basketball team? First, there's a man sleeping. That's an early exit from the SEC tournament. And rest, 27%. Boy, that was 50-50 before the show. And now it's 27% people just getting online and doing it. Or 73% of you say, guy with the foam number one finger, I want a long run in the SEC tournament and a 1 seed. Okay, we've debated that on this show and other shows all week long. I think you're a guy who'd rather have the rest, right, rather than the number one. I agree. I am too.
I agree.
Yep.
I'd rather be closer to home in the first or in the Sweet 16.
Where that's going to drop in. And you like the number 1 seed for
To
first time.
Cavaliers, though, I would be somewhere in between. You get a win, and
No Cavaliers.
No, the rest I think is more important.
Oh, I thought you wanted the number 1 seed.
Well, yeah.
You did earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Winning it all, winning it all doesn't guarantee you that the way they sit right now.
Generally, the rest though is what I would.
Yeah, I'll take the rest. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the SEC tournament bracket. There we go. Tennessee is the 4 seed, and basically the other 3 teams still in the running for number 1 seed, or the other 2 teams. That's Florida and Alabama. They're also double byes, won't play until Friday. Tennessee will play either A&M, Texas, or Vanderbilt, and if they win, they go into the semifinals, and they will get a rematch with Auburn, who they lost to by, 2 points earlier in the year. So when you look at that path, when you look at that layout, in terms of the question, is a 1 seed still on the table? I think it definitely is.
I do too. My argument would be if you beat Texas A&M, which would be another quad 1 win, if you then beat Auburn, and then you either beat Alabama or Florida to win the SEC championship, yes. Now, the counter to that would be before you play the SEC championship game, if they already made up their mind,
Right.
that would be a concern. But I think they would leave room for either moving Alabama or Florida off the 1 line to the 2 and move Tennessee up. So I'm going to say yes.
Mark, is it still available?
Yeah, it's absolutely still available.
I don't necessarily think you have to win the whole thing. Getting back to, we're going to show in the next segment. I'm going to show you Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama updated net rankings and the strength of schedule. They're all kind of neck and neck. It wouldn't surprise me if the committee said, "All right, of these 3 teams, first one out gets the number 6 seed overall in the tournament. There are 2, and then the next 2 teams, whoever goes further, gets the 1 seed. And that way, whoever wins, if it's 2 of them getting to the championship game, if Tennessee gets to the championship game against Alabama or Florida, they'll just say, loser gets the top number 2 seed, winner gets the number 1 seed.
I could see that.
I mean, it's possible.
My thought is maybe I'm a little too. I've been burned too much by what we've seen in the past, where Tennessee wins on Sunday and it seemed to make no difference and things like that. I think it might take a lot. I think Tennessee needs to beat Auburn. I think that's a key because they don't have that win against Auburn. I think Florida might need to lose on Friday or something like that. It might take an early exit from one of those teams to help Tennessee. Tennessee needs that win over Auburn, though, I think, to strengthen its case enough to make the jump from where they are now to at number 4.
Remember last year, all of these teams that had byes lost, and so that what do the other teams do? What if Florida and Alabama? If Florida and Alabama, they go one and done. You win 1, maybe 2 games, then maybe the championship isn't necessary at that time. It all depends on what everybody else is doing in that seesaw. And how do they view the SEC this year? Is it they view everybody so close that maybe, like to Jimmy's point, they predetermine the bracket anyway as it is to where it doesn't make a big difference? We don't know how they're going to handle this stuff.
Well, and that's why I'm saying if 2 of those 3 teams, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, make the championship game, I don't think there's any doubt. They slot that thing as winner gets the 1 seed, loser gets the 2 seed. And I do agree with Ryan. Florida right now has a number 1 seed. Everyone thinks so because of their record more than their strength of schedule or their net ranking. It's not miles better. Strength of schedule is worse. It's their record. I think they need to go out first. If they do, then I think you're in the mix. I don't know that you have to win the whole thing to get the number 1.
Here's the other piece of it. What question would be, which is more important, rest or a win versus Auburn? If you beat Texas A&M and then you go play Auburn, to the fan base, to the Barnes Pearl comparison, what's more important, rest to the fans and have put in position to go further in the NCAA tournament, or for Barnes to beat Pearl and advance in the SEC championship?
Here's another factor. Auburn has looked, since they clinched the regular season championship, they've lost. Yeah. So what's going to be their interest level when I think it's a lock to me that they would be...
Oh, they're lock number 1.
Yeah, number 1 overall.
Yeah.
So how interested are they going to be to win that tournament? Now, Bruce Pearl's been really good at that tournament, so maybe they do get a switch. But what if they're not interested and they go one and done, then maybe you don't play Auburn, and maybe it's an Ole Miss or Texas or or somebody else that you play that maybe doesn't give you the boost if you get to Saturday.
How many times has he won the SEC tournament down there at Auburn? Twice?
Once against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Did he win another one down there? Because he didn't win one here. But anyway,
that's what BP is. BP
Right.
can turn the switch on, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
when they accomplish something, the switch will come off. But when it's time to go,
Right.
he's ready to get guys going. That's why also the NCAA tournament. They're in the tournament, they have a good run, and then they don't make the tournament. That's how he's philosophy.
So how do you think he'll play it with Auburn with the tournament? Do you think he's going to go to win, or do you think he's going to kind of
Especially coming off a couple losses, he'll have him ready to roll.
Okay.
Especially if he's playing
And
Tennessee.
depth.
yeah. All right. When we come back, let's take a look at the national projections. We've got a graphic with Joe Lenardi's. We've got a whiteboard because Jerry Palm just updated his. We've got the net rankings and everything I just mentioned to you. Let's talk more about this and look at what some of the projections are for Tennessee in the tournament when we come back.